Should we do this?
All right. I guess I'm going to give the first toast.
Over here so we can see you.
Yeah, they told me to stand behind you. Oh. Is this okay? Can I stand here? All right, well, for anybody that I haven't met yet, I am Bradley's big sister, Sam. So I'm so happy that this day is finally here and we can celebrate Bradley and Alec getting married, but I can't say I'm too surprised because back when they first started dating, we went and saw a psychic in Savannah named Sylvia, and she told us that Alec and Bradley were soulmates and that they would have twin baby boys. So we will see if that happens. So I was 2 years old when Bradley was born, and at that point in my life, everything changed. I was no longer the only child, and since then, I have felt a very strong, protective love towards her. And we joke in our family that I basically raised Bradley because I always have felt very motherly towards her. Exactly. So I have an extremely close and special bond with my little sister, but we didn't always get along. There were times growing up where me and my best friend would make up secret languages so that we could go and play on the trampoline, and we would tell Bradley that we would be playing Legos in 10 minutes, and we'd meet her there, and then we would avoid her all day. So I wasn't always the nicest sister, but making Bradley happy has always been really important to me. In fact, as Gray will remember, we used to play a game called Bradley's World. And basically the gist of Bradley's World is that you do whatever Bradley wants to do. And I don't remember playing Sam's World or Gray's World, but we played Bradley's World a lot. So making Bradley happy has always been important to me, and I know that when I see Bradley with Alec, that she's happy. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that Alec is the right one for Bradley, because Alec is a lot like me. For a long time, I was the only person who could understand the way that Bradley's brain works. In fact, it makes us unbeatable at charades. I know exactly what she's trying to communicate, even when it doesn't make sense to anybody else. And I never thought that I would see anybody else be able to have that special gift as well, but I can tell that Alec really gets Bradley. And sometimes she says things and we look at each other and we're like, I know what that means. And he's the only other person that's ever understood her the way that I do. And we all know that Bradley is incredibly bright, and we know that she's very talented at her work. But we also know that she really lives in the moment. And sometimes that means that she doesn't really plan out her actions very well. And that is where Alec fits in perfectly, because he is a planner, and he's organized, and he's patient, and he's thoughtful. And as their relationship has grown, I have seen these qualities rub off on each other. I've seen that Bradley has become a very meticulous planner, and she doesn't leave the house without an itinerary anymore. When she comes to visit home, she has a color-coded itinerary for everybody to know where she will be when, and when you can see her and what they're doing. And so I know that is a product of her time with Alec. And I've seen Alec also learn to let loose and indulge in some of Bradley's more whimsical ways. When I see the relationship that these two have, I see how deeply they understand and appreciate the quirks in each other. One thing that I really love is how intentional they are about their relationship. They have not made any decisions together very lightly. In fact, the first purchase that they made together, when they combined their finances, was a camping tent.
That's a big deal.
And Bradley called me and she said, "We bought a tent together, it's serious." And keep in mind, I'm pretty sure they were already living together at this point in Athens. But it was a big deal when they decided to intermingle their finances. But that just goes to show how intentional they are and every decision that they make together. And I admire that because we can be really confident that we're not just here on a whim today. This marriage is not something that these two have decided to enter into lightly. I know that they put a lot of thought over the last few years into what does marriage mean to them. And they've had many conversations on the topic, and they decided that this is something that they want to do together. And I think that that intentionality is a really beautiful thing. So many people just rush into big life decisions without really considering what it means. But I've seen over the last 8 years that Bradley and Alec consistently bring out the best in each other. And as a big sister, I spend a lot of time worrying about my little sister and hoping that she's okay and wanting her to be safe and wanting her to have everything that she could ever need. Under any other circumstances, I would be a nervous wreck having her live all the way in Seattle, traveling the world. But when she's with Alec, I know she's going to be okay. And I know that the two of them combined make a really great team that can take on anything and achieve their goals. The last time I was here visiting Washington, I learned one of Alec's favorite phrases. So I just want to say, Alec,
Mic'd up, by the way.
you've really lucked out getting to marry Bradley. And you can take that any way you want. I love you both dearly, and I wish you all the happiness in the world. To Alec and Bradley.
I'd first like to thank the people that worked so hard to plan this event. And also, Bradley, you look amazing. Alec, you look great too. I think you would have looked a lot better in that lobster costume you brought on a river trip. For those who don't know me, I'm Tad, and I've known Alec for about 20 years. Our moms' classrooms were right next to each other, and we became friends in kindergarten. Over the years, we remained great friends, hanging out in his pool, going on kayaking trips, and then now enjoying living on the West Coast together. I haven't known Bradley quite as long, only about 10 years. We became friends, getting in trouble for joking around in junior year English class. And it was not long after that Alec and Bradley started dating, which was very exciting for me, because two of my best friends were happy and in love. And also, I didn't have to make any new friends. I feel very fortunate to have friends like Alec and Bradley. They're both the type of people that would do anything for the people that they care about. They are up for almost any adventure and make the most out of a rainy situation. I've seen them overcome many challenges together, from being apart, going to different schools, to the challenges of folding pocket knives and opening wine bottles. I know that they're ready to handle anything that life throws at them. So thank you for choosing all of us to share this special day with us in this beautiful place. I love both of you, and congratulations to Alec and Bradley.
This is a lot harder than I thought it would be to write. I just want to say that. So, the first time I ever talked to Bradley,
You got this. Hey, you want to scoot in here in the rain?
yeah. Wait a second. Okay. I'm gonna come right back. I just wasn't ready. Okay, it's also bleeding now. The first time I ever talked to Bradley, I was in the hallway of Woodland High School's freshman academy. And I said, I heard you have a unicorn retainer. I said, can I see it? And she popped it out and showed it to me without any hesitation. And I knew from that moment I wanted to be best friends with her. It was the most natural feeling I've ever had. So now I'm just going to list out a lot of things that I really love about Bradley. She loves reality TV more than literally anyone I know. She finds happiness in the simple things and makes everyone around her slow down to enjoy them. Her laugh is the most contagious. She loves pasta and cheese dip and could live off of those two things alone. She's always down to travel and promises to meet me anywhere on earth. She's always down to take a nap. She loves any excuse to dress up. She appreciates an itinerary more than anyone I know. She once invited me to join in on a prank to dye her dad's hair blue in his shampoo. It did fail. It'd be a lot better story if it worked. She plays blackjack like she belongs in Vegas. She'll take tequila shots with me even when she really just wants to go to bed. She's just as much as a freak as I am about the water in Mexico, even though she brushed her teeth with it a few times. Oh, jeez. She screamed across the Airbnb. She'll dance anytime she's given the chance, and she's always made me feel so naturally part of the family. She's the most easygoing and supportive friend in the whole wide world, and I feel like I'm being wrapped in a blanket of love every time I'm with you. And now she just married her best friend. And I have no doubt that Alec is going to be able to love you as much as you love everyone around you. And you can just feel it the way he's like with the family. It's like you guys have all like just been, you're already family. You were family since the first beach trip. Really. I just feel like, even like friend-wise, like we've all, you know, you never make anyone feel like you're just a couple. You're just, everyone's important around you guys. And I can't even begin to explain how happy that makes my heart. My favorite quote at the moment is that whatever's meant for you will not pass you by. And you two are the perfect example of that. I mean, you literally started your relationship via the phone while Bradley was on a month-long road trip. And then straight from that ended up in a long-distance relationship. And I think that you both finally admitted your feelings for each other, and you had the same realization that you were never going to let each other go, no matter what that meant for you. And I feel like you may have been expecting for me to say that I'm the reason you're together. But I think that you really naturally would have gravitated to each other no matter what. There's like nothing anyone could have done to stop that. I think you were the only two that maybe tried to deny it, actually. But I believe you guys are soulmates, and I'm so glad that I broke girl code and forced Alec to have a conversation about his love life in that Florida McDonald's. Really, truly, it's been an honor to watch your love evolve and grow and take on so many beautiful new forms along the way. I've watched you both put in so much work to keep your love constantly growing and exciting, and I promise that it's so inspiring, because it's not easy. I feel like that's like, you guys have done so many great things together. And Alec, please stay feeding my girl as much Mexican food as she needs to keep her going. And I love you both more than I could ever express with words.
How many pages is yours?
3. And it's in big letters so I can read it. All right. So, my mom wrote this toast, and my father was going to deliver this, and sadly he can't be here today, but I know he wishes he could be. But I've been asked to represent them tonight in their absence. Our family could not be more excited and honored to have Bradley officially become part of our family as a wife, a sister, and a daughter. To share a little bit of a timeline of how we could have guessed this day would have happened, it began in 7th grade. My mom walked up after cross-country practice to pick up Alec. And as soon as she began to approach a group that Alec was standing in, she hears a girl nearby say, "Alec, as of right now, you're my girlfriend." Or my boyfriend, sorry. When they both got in the car, my mom asked Alec, "Who was the girl that just claimed you as hers?" And then Alec looked at my mom and responded, "Mom, that's Bradley Sabin." Fast forward to high school and they became close friends, twins on twin day. Alex suddenly became very interested in volleyball. Bradley sneaks into the house before school with Will just to deliver breakfast and coffee for Alec on his birthday. And they began to drop by each other's houses just because they happened to be in each other's area. The adorable part of this story is that Bradley's family, as well as our own, told them both, of course, speaking respectively to our own, that they were going to be very cute together. And yes, she or he likes you and not just as a friend. Graduation came and went. Summer began, and on July 4th of 2013, they finally began to figure it out, and I mean they finally started dating. The story goes on from there to college and many more adventures and loving support from there. Alec and Bradley, you're going to have an amazing life together. Your unconditional love and endless support is the beginning of a beautiful marriage. To Alec and Bradley, we love you both very much, and to a happy marriage. All right, cheers.
Logan, you killed it. You did a great job. I think the hard thing about anything like this is because you want to capture everything in just a few words, and it's so hard to do. I mean, you got to see their love and feel their love, and I mean, this is Seattle, so this is exactly what I expected. It's perfect, so that's great. All right, well, good evening, everyone. I'm Bradley's dad, if you haven't met me yet. I'm a big fan of this loving couple right here. This is probably one of my favorite two people in the world. I mean, I love spending time with them. I come out here and visit them just like you guys do. I mean, they're just, you guys know, they're fun to be around. They're just a blast. You know, you guys really did this. You put this on with your wedding planner, wherever she is. But where's Erica? Great job, Erica. Yes. I mean, it's beautiful. We're sitting over here, Uncle Ray and Dad and I, and we look out here, we're eating this beautiful dinner and everything. So great job with that. Just couldn't be more proud of you for that. You know, not everybody could be here, right? So I also want to, you know, those people send your love to, and you know, you got an extended family that goes all across the world. So we're happy to have that. You know, as parents, Gina and I really could not be more proud of all the things Bradley did, but when they did them together with Alec, it just becomes so strong. They moved out from Georgia on their own to Seattle with no support systems and have just thrived. And they've made friends, and they've just really had a great time. And that doesn't happen by accident. So Gina and I are both very proud of you guys for really just doing such a great job. You know, thinking about the speech gave me a chance to reflect on the charms and quirks of my baby girl. So I'm going to share a few of those. So when I think of Bradley, I think of this little curly-headed girl, which, you know, she's not really curly-headed anymore, but she was. Snot running out of her nose like you just can't believe. Dancing. She loved to dance. Even when she was little, she just loved to dance. Full of life. Maybe just a little bit of attitude, you know, with her sister particularly. And of course, I mean, everybody's already mentioned it, but her love of cheese dip is unnatural. I mean, it's unnatural. I don't know where that comes from. I wrote a few things here because they're almost like contradictory. So she's confident. If you ever met her, she's confident, but she's not arrogant. You know, sometimes that can come hand in hand. So you're not arrogant. I love that. You're focused, but you're not dismissive of other people. You're like, you know, you see other people in your life. Loving, always follows your dreams. And I don't know if you remember me telling you this, but you never settle. You didn't settle for any of the boys that came before Alec because you knew he was going to be the one. So. It's really been my pleasure to see you guys take these adventures. I love to hear about your adventures and go on your adventures. If you go to a different country, a hike in the mountains, you explore Mount Faker. Remember that, Charles? We got to see Mount Faker. You always bring such enthusiastic energy. I mean, when I come to here to Seattle, you're like, hey, we got to go see this. We got to go to Mount Hood. We got to do this hike. I love that. If you've had a chance to spend much time with them, you can see that not only has their travels have expanded, but so is their love with those travels. You know, as you guys have like gone to more trips and done things, your love just kind of follows that. So I love that. I remember the first time I spent time with Alec at the beach. You were not FBO just yet. That's Facebook official for some of you less, you know, techie people. But everybody else knew, just like people said, it's a matter of time. You know, Bradley was headed for a month-long trip with her cousin, Gray, to go around this great country and to see all the cool stuff. And then it wasn't soon after that, I don't know the whole story exactly, but the way I understand it was somewhere in Chicago, you're in a hotel that Charles had got you guys a hotel. Yeah. Who?
Great pay you to say this.
Hey, I'm just telling you the story as I remember it. Anyway, and so they got on FaceTime. I guess there may be some fireworks even or something like that, really romantic. And you guys got to announce that you guys were now official. And so that was a special moment. Now, this is to Gray's chagrin maybe a little bit. That may have hurried your travels a hair to get back home to see your love that you eventually would marry, obviously, today. So that's awesome. Bradley's always had an adventuresome nature. Out of high school, I remember she wanted to go to a big school. She didn't want to be close to home. And the funniest thing to me was, though, she had so many friends in high school, but she did not want to room with any of them. She wanted a whole brand new adventure to room with somebody she didn't even know. That's a whole story itself. Yeah. And then, like a year later, she's like, I want to go to UGA. And I'm thinking, okay, UGA, that's fine or whatever. And then, then I know Alice going there, but she's like, for academic reasons, Dad. And I'm like, okay, yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he was already there, and now she wants to go there. That's great. So anyway, she told me she would take a month-long study abroad then in Cortona. And so she went to Cortona with Alec. And then, not surprisingly, I think this is really, that's where I think anyway, you kind of whet your appetite for this whole world experience that you guys are going after. And I think that families, when they come together, Paul and Desiree, I just can't tell you how much it hurts my heart that they can't be here for this. And I know that you guys all have them in your thoughts and prayers. But they have raised a compassionate, caring, loving young man that, I'm just so happy that my daughter hooked up with and got with, and this is their thing. Oh, did I say hooked up with? I'm sorry about that. That's not even in my speech. But I am proud to have Alec as my new son-in-law. So Alec, a lot of people would be shy. I mean, I was Alec's principal, in high school. And you can see why that could be a little intimidating sometimes. But he just all of a sudden, it really is a lot like Logan and Sydney both. They're so grown up and they can have adult conversations almost, just so easily. And I just love that about them. But you introduced me to the finer taste of the Georgia campfire at Cannons. I appreciate that. PBR and Fernet. Matter of fact, I got that for you right here, buddy. That's a little gift. A PBR, yeah. I don't know if you've ever had Fernet, but it is. Yes. Anyway, but if you ever go to Linda's, though, get a PBR and a Fernet, take a shot of it, and remember that you're there with Alec, okay? And then he gave me a great tour of Seattle. But the funny thing about it is I thought I was special, and we were going to go to like the coffee shop above the bookstore, and then we're going to the French pastry place, and but come to find out, everybody that's ever come to Seattle does the same tour. But anyway, it's still a great tour. You have made me really actually a cyber security expert. I appreciate that. And I look forward to all of our talks on the beach about our cell phones and all that. I love that, so that's great. I really am happy, that Bradley met someone as adventuresome, good-natured as you. I really am. Getting to know you and your family, I'm just really affirmed that this is going to be perfect, and I'm so happy for you guys. I really, as a dad, you want your kids to find somebody that's going to make them happy. That's all I care about, Alec, and you're that guy. So, raise a toast to Alec and Bradley. Love you guys. Love you guys. And take a shot of Fernet. Oh, I'm still mic'd up. I was about to say something really bad, too.